Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are chatting all about the Gunas, static versus mobile. I think this is one of my favorite ones because it is so easy to use in our yoga classes and our yoga situation. All right, not a great heyday, but it's all okay. We are here. Welcome. My name is Nina Sachs. I'm a yoga teacher trainer here at the Academy of Yoga and Ayurveda. And we have both 200 and 300 yoga teacher trainings. We also have our 100-hour upgrade from a 2 to a 300-hour and a 40-hour training in Ayurveda. And at the moment, we are delving into this concept of Ayurveda. We're looking at the 10 gunas, the 10 pairs of opposites. And today, we're going to delve into this idea of static versus mobile and how you can use that in your yoga practice and your yoga teaching. And I'm also going to share with you kind of like the way that I really like to use it at the end. So be sure to stay right to the end. Okay, so beginning, static is very much this, like it increases Kapha. So it's very, very balancing for Vata and Pitta. So anything that is kind of like static is super grounding, and that is great if you are needing grounding, not great if you're needing a bit more mobile. And the flip side is the same, and the opposite is for mobile. Mobile very much kind of like increases Vata, and it can decrease Kapha. So again, looking at your own constitution, looking at the constitution of your students, and just their disposition and how they're feeling on any given day. Are they walking in and feeling very lethargic and just want to lie down? And are you actually realizing that there's this heaviness and density to them, and that maybe actually they need a little bit of mobility and movement? Or they're coming in and they're all over the place and they're taking their shoes off and they're running to the toilet and they're going here and they're going there and they're just like really, really mobile? And do they need a little bit of grounding? And so that is also why in every single yoga class, and I hope you're doing this, is that you will start off with a centering. Why? Because everyone is coming, everyone is coming in from different places. People coming from work, from dealing with family, cooking for their families, they've dealt with traffic, whatever they've come, they've all like rushed usually to your yoga class to get there. And so there's this very scattered energy. So this is why we always take like a good 5 minutes, maybe even more, sometimes even 10 minutes if it's been very, very scattery out there, and to ground and to center, and literally just sitting on the mat or even lying flat is so beautifully grounding. It is being in that static position where there's not much movement and you're just allowing the breath to do its thing. And that is where shift and change slowly starts to happen. Now, in my opinion, where I really love to use the static and this mobile quality, you can use it in all aspects, like in the physical sense, in the mental, the emotional. I really love to use it on the emotional realm. So, for example, if I get into a space where I am maybe playing over the same story in my head, maybe a situation happened, maybe I had a fight with someone and I'm just like reeling in that and like, why do they not understand? And and I'm actually in this stuck place of this thought process because it's just the same thoughts, similar thoughts, just revolving and revolving and revolving. And so when I get into that space, I know that I'm stuck. We know that we are stuck. And what do we need? We need movement. But we don't need movement in the head. Or we do in a sense, because we want to get rid of those thoughts. But it's very hard to just like kind of like snap out of it, because that's what so many people say, just snap out of it. No, it's not easy to snap out of it. But what is easy to do is to put on your shoes and to go outside for a walk. And because as soon as you're walking, you're actually having to focus on kind of like, and walking on like kind of like uneven surfaces is actually great, because you really got to focus on something else. And so now the story that's stuck in your head is slowly, it's like the glue that's slowly starting to get a little less sticky, is slowly starting to move. And you're like, oh, wow, look at that pretty flower. Oh, wow, that's a great tree. Oh, wow, look, the sun is out. Oh, that feels really nice on my skin. And there are other thoughts that come and they just start to move. And then what happens is that that story that you've been playing in your head slowly starts to come unstuck. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe let me just take a moment and think of it from their perspective. Okay, is this really what I meant? And when that starts to happen, and you're out there and you're walking and you've got that nice rhythm that is happening, you are still doing something that is grounding for you, but you're getting the story unstuck out of your head. So you're working kind of like with the two and bringing yourself into balance. Now, the same is possible and happens when you are so overwhelmed and so scattered, and you've got so many thoughts, and you've got this project you want to do, and this is happening, and that person's coming for lunch, and there's so many things going on in your head. And sometimes what you need is like, you need to just like consolidate all those thoughts and bring them into a grounded space. And so sometimes what is really helpful is to like just sit down with your journal and journal, okay, this is like what I need to do. And just be quiet in a space of quietness and grounding, and then just sit for 5 minutes. And usually what happens, I mean, like, isn't this what they say? It's like, if you should meditate every day for half an hour or 10 minutes or whatever it is. And if you have a busy day, meditate for an hour. And that's literally what it is, because if you know that you are so busy and there's so much going on, you need to find that grounded space so that you can put everything back into order and structure, and so that you can achieve what you need to achieve. And so that is how I actually like using the static and the mobile qualities, not just physically on how I'm feeling and what the weather is doing. Is the weather very like mobile? Is it, or is it very like static and still? But actually understanding like what's happening in my head. Are the thoughts static? Are they still? Are they busy and jagged? And what do I need to bring them to balance, and finding that? And this is what we teach on our 40-hour training in Ayurveda. We help you bring yourself and your students back into balance. So if you're a yoga teacher or you're thinking of becoming a yoga teacher, please be sure to have a look at that 40-hour training in yoga, in Ayurveda. It is going to open up so many you're going to just get so many aha moments, and you're going to be like, okay, now I understand why this person operates this way. Okay, now I understand how I can do and what I can negotiate and what I can navigate. And I can't tell you how many times this has saved me in my relationships with the family, my partner, with friends, by just having a depth of understanding and realizing how I can bring myself into balance, and how I can bring and help others bring themselves back into balance without them actually even knowing it sometimes. So that's it from my side. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was insightful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll be sure to see you again very soon. Have a beautiful day. Sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.